It began subtly, almost innocuously, with a suggestion from someone my wife trusted, a person she claimed understood her struggles and could guide her towards self-discovery. Her therapist, divorced and outspoken about unconventional approaches to relationships, had apparently advised her to slightly open our marriage, to explore emotional and physical connections outside our partnership as a way to rediscover herself. At first, I didn't know how to respond. The words sounded foreign, wrong, and manipulative, yet they came cloaked in the language of psychological guidance and self-improvement. She broached the topic casually one evening, sitting across from me with a calm, confident demeanor. "My therapist says we should explore a little," she said, almost smiling. "Just slightly. It's healthy. It'll help us both grow." I remember staring at her, trying to process the absurdity of the suggestion. My mind raced. Healthy? Growth? Betrayal? I wanted to laugh at the ridiculousness, to think this was some bizarre experiment, but the cold reality settled in quickly. She wasn't joking. She was serious. And worse, she had someone else's validation backing her decision. I tried to reason with her. I reminded her of the vows we had exchanged, the life we had built together, the trust that had always been sacred between us. I pleaded for understanding, for honesty, for fidelity, but she dismissed me with a wave of her hand. "It's just exploring," she said, as if those words could make infidelity acceptable, as if the meaning of our marriage could be bent by a therapist's casual advice. Over the next weeks, I noticed the changes: late-night messages, secretive phone calls, unexplained absences, all small, calculated actions that slowly revealed the truth. The slight opening she had described to me was, in reality, a free pass to flirt, connect, and eventually cheat without consequences. Her rationalizations were endless. "It's for growth. It's therapy. It's just harmless fun." But I knew better. I saw the deceit, the emotional manipulation, the casual arrogance. The breaking point came when I discovered evidence, texts, messages, even photographs, that confirmed she had taken her therapist's advice far beyond what she had admitted. She was seeing another man, engaging in intimate conversations, and actively pursuing experiences she had assured me were only for self-discovery. The betrayal was deep, cutting to the core of trust and respect in our marriage. I felt a mix of emotions: heartbreak, rage, disbelief. How could someone I loved, someone who had promised commitment, justify infidelity under the guise of therapy? How could I process the arrogance, the manipulation, and the calculated deceit? I decided on a plan. I didn't confront her immediately. I didn't let anger dictate my actions. Instead, I documented everything meticulously: messages, call logs, screenshots, and even accounts from witnesses who had seen her behavior. I knew that if I acted impulsively, I would give her power, but if I acted strategically, I could reclaim control, dignity, and justice. When I finally confronted her, I did it calmly, methodically. I laid out the evidence, one piece at a time, letting the facts speak for themselves. Her confident demeanor faltered almost immediately. She tried to explain, to rationalize, to deflect blame onto her therapist or onto me, suggesting that I hadn't supported her emotional needs adequately. But it was too late. The truth was undeniable. Divorce proceedings were initiated swiftly. I ensured that custody, finances, and property were handled carefully, removing any opportunity for manipulation. She had assumed she could continue her reckless behavior with no consequences, but I was determined to make sure accountability was unavoidable. The aftermath was sobering. Friends and family were shocked, many struggling to reconcile the woman they knew with the actions she had taken. My own emotional recovery took months of reflection, therapy, and self-care. But I realized an essential truth. Betrayal can be rationalized in infinite ways, through therapy, self-discovery, or personal growth, but the consequences are always real. By acting calmly, strategically, and decisively, I ensured that her manipulation and infidelity did not define my life. She had believed she could cheat under the guise of professional advice and that I would accept it. Instead, her choices led to exposure, accountability, and the eventual dissolution of the life she had promised to honor. In the end, the lesson was harsh but vital. External validation, even from a trusted professional, cannot justify betrayal. Trust and respect are sacred, and anyone who seeks to violate them, regardless of excuses, will face consequences. My wife's attempt to slightly open our marriage became her undoing, while my calm, strategic response ensured that dignity, integrity, and personal empowerment prevailed. What she thought would be a harmless experiment became a cautionary tale, and I walked away, wiser, stronger, and free from the manipulation that had threatened to destroy everything I had built.